So taking a look at the entire AFC prediction, I think in terms of seeding, this is how it's going to go. I have Kansas City as the 1 seed. It makes a lot of sense. They're going to get that due to a tiebreaker, which they will pick up on opening night against the Baltimore Ravens. I believe that tiebreaker is going to pay big dividends to them going forward. That means that they basically have a game in hand, and that is going to be big favors for them going forward. And Baltimore, while they may win the division, they're still going to be a very good threat. They're going to finish number 2 ahead of Miami, who I think this year is when they break through, they win the division. And I'm going to get into other stuff going forward, but I think they are just a little bit better than Buffalo, and not just Buffalo, but I think just the entire division. Miami has what it takes. They are looking good. Tua should be healthy yet again for 16-17 games. Mike McDaniels has added some complexities with the offense, and I think defensively they will get a full year of Jalen Ramsey too, which will be a big time addition to this team. Now, at the 4 seed, makes sense to put in CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. I think they're a team that is looking to build off of last year. Jacksonville could be good, that don't get me wrong, but I think Houston just has a little bit more compared to them, and I think they can handle Jacksonville in 2 matchups and getting, if not a split or a sweep between the Jaguars would be great, and then they can probably have that tiebreaker in their back pocket if they win the AFC South. For the wild cards, I think Cincinnati's the best of the bunch. They have Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, and they just may not have enough to win the division, but they certainly do have enough. They finished last in the division last year, and that's going to help their scheduling out a little bit. They're going to play some lesser competition, boost up their record, and Joe Burrow, as long as he's healthy, they should be definitely a dark horse in this AFC playoff race. My bold prediction is that the Bills actually don't make the playoffs and the Chargers take their place. Jim Harbaugh in year 1, they hit an acceleration on their rebuild efforts, and they actually get into the playoffs thanks to stability at the offensive line. This time Herbert has some time to look around in the pocket, helps him out, and they don't have any studs at receiver, but I think it's going to be a collective effort to help this team move forward in the playoffs. And in terms of the Buffalo Bills, I think with them, they could take a step back. They might be a team that is a 9-8 type of team. They have a very hard schedule, and also the injuries. They lost Matt Milano already. He may be coming back in December, but might be too late. I think with the receivers, I mean, Keon Coleman is a great on the microphone. He's really interesting. I think his play is going to be some growing pains, and it's going to take some time for him to get acclimated to the NFL. You're going to see probably a lot of Dalton Kincaid reps that are going to get him in the passing game. And Josh Allen, I think with him, you're always going to be in a game with a quarterback like Josh Allen, don't get me wrong, but it again comes down to decision making. He always goes for the home run ball instead of taking what is there, and that uber aggressive leads to turnovers. And I think with him, we're going to see something where he might face some injury as well, because this due to his play being all over the place. There's not really a lot of reining in his play since they lost their coordinator a couple of years ago, and since then they've been trying to figure out who's going to be the guy that keeps Josh Allen in check, and we just haven't seen that. It's going to be they step back, and I think my other bold prediction is that McDermott is the guy to take the fall for it. I think he's a great coach, don't get me wrong, but in the years we've seen them, and since the Josh Allen era has really begun, where they're not doing the little things, and that's really the difference. Those are games where they've lost to competition that they definitely could be there just based off of talent, but it again comes down to the little things that they just don't do, and maybe teams like the Chiefs or Cincinnati Bengals do. And my other surprise pick is that the New York Jets are actually going to sneak into the playoffs. I think with competent quarterback play, a healthy Aaron Rodgers is what we were aiming to see last year, and that just did not happen due to the Achilles injury. This year, he's back.